Hello Sagittarius, thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Gilded Tarot Royale. I have a different version of this deck. I think this is one it's just a little bit edited. Some of the pictures are different, so it's by Cyril Marchetti still, and it's still the text by Barbara Moore at the bottom. At the bottom here, there is a website, llewellyn.com, I believe. Feel free to check that out. I think usgamesinc.com is also a valid choice for Cyril stuff, Cyril Marchetti. So if you want to check it out, feel free to check it out, of course. Supportive Oracle cards, spellcasting Oracle cards by Flavia, Barbara, and Lisbeth. There's how you spell their full names. There's also some websites on the back here. She Who Is Art always stands out to me, but if you want to check out some of the other ones, just freeze frame and enjoy, of course. Okay. What do we have for Sagittarius? Okay. Ooh, these are happy cards. Interesting cards for you, but happy cards. You have a lot of earth coming in. Like a lot of earth coming in. It's not bad. That's not a bad thing for Sag. It's just you like to move. You like to be negotiable. You like to kind of change with the moment. Usually that's Sag. Earth can be very binding, can be very structured or limiting to Sag. Can be. Not always. There's a lot of different flavors depending on what else you have going on in your chart, of course. But I feel like you're putting in the effort. You're putting in a lot of effort here. I'm doing it by the book. I'm doing it by the book. You're trying to do it by the book as best you can, and it's not easy for you. You like to change with the moment. You like to kind of like, this is what works better right now, let me do this now. But it's kind of like, there's a structure. This to me feels like there's a list. At 8 o'clock you do this, at 9 o'clock you do this, 10 o'clock you do this, all the way through to the end of the day. And it's kind of like every day it's the same thing. And that, even though you're good at it, and you try to kind of keep it lively where you can, there's a lot of structure here. It can feel very limiting to you. It can. And that could be why it's very, like, it could feel suffocating a little bit. It can. What is this? I see the Queen of Swords as your challenger. I'm wondering if I'm like worried about what other people are thinking. 3 of Cups and the Death card. I feel like I have to stick with the structure. It's gone bad for somebody else who didn't. It's gone bad for somebody else who didn't. I feel like the bad, like whatever bad is subjective to your situation. It hasn't gone well for somebody else who didn't go by the structure. If this is a job situation, maybe you had leadership at one point, or maybe you still do, and they were more fluid with things, but then there's some type of backlash for it, or maybe something didn't go right and everything got blamed on that, and that doing things that way. So whether it was fair or not, it's kind of like now it's like there's a lot of structure, there's a lot of boundaries, and it's kind of like I want to do things differently, but I'm nervous too. Okay. Things are improving for you, but how is what I'm trying to get to. Because I feel like the restrictions are starting to back off. Restrictions are starting to back off, but it's kind of like we got to keep looking at the bottom line. I feel like you can start doing things differently, but you got to be like, who's paying attention and when are they paying attention? So it's like, if they're doing a check by mid-morning, then noon, and then mid-afternoon, and then at the end of the day, it's kind of like, say there's 3 things you do before the mid-check. You literally could do those in whatever order you want, as long as you do those 3 things. And you might have some leeway in how you do them, as long as they're done correctly. But you got to be careful. Somebody here got bit in the butt they're nervous. So you can't rely on somebody else here who used to be more open to doing things a little bit more, I don't want to say random, I don't think that's fair. A little bit more going with the flow. They don't seem to be very open to that right now because they got bit in the butt and they got bit hard. But the restrictions are starting to pull back a little bit. I still feel like I look back and the way things were done is getting blamed for something. I don't think that was quite right. Somebody got blamed for something. I don't feel like it was quite right, however that goes. But there's that. But whoever got bit in the butt, they're like, not doing that again. Things are coming forward and there's changes coming forward. You might, if you're able to get ahead of a couple things, I feel like you might have more leeway. You might be able to like breathe a little more. Because we need to make this more comfortable for you. If this just becomes a very like I'm struggling to breathe day in and day out constantly, I don't know how long you can stand it. Because if you're constantly struggling to breathe, you're not going to be happy. You may get used to it, but you're not going to be happy. So how do we get forward in that, right? How do we get forward in that? All right, you got the High Priestess, which is kind of like, I have to like balance the good with the bad, and then you got the Knight of Fire. You're just going to have to try every now and then to kind of like step outside the lines and see if you get away with it. I know that may sound a little, I don't know how that sounds, but it sounds the way it sounds. I hate this saying, and I can't believe I'm going to say it. It's better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. I guess sometimes it's just valid. I don't know, because I feel like what you're doing is not that bad. It's just somebody is over-controlling. Somebody is over-controlling. They're suppressive. They're suppressive. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Somebody is suppressive. So if you just kind of keep jumping outside the lines every now and then and it just works out, if they catch it, oh, I'm so sorry. If they don't, I don't know what you're talking about. That's it. The situation feels suppressive, oppressive, suppressive, oppressive. I don't know, whatever the right word is for you. Yeah, because I feel like you make things work out and you're very valuable to the situation. People want to keep you happy because they want you to stick around. When you start jumping out of the lines, as long as it works for you, don't point it out to other people either. You might want to be careful not to talk about this with your friends. Some of them are trustworthy, some of them aren't, but people talk and people talk too much. So if you just keep it to yourself, it goes well for you. It doesn't mean that every one of your friends is a bad person. I'm not trying to like paint that picture. But people talk and people talk too much and people say things before they think about what they're saying. If you just keep it to yourself, this is smoother for you. You can succeed in this pattern. Because you can doesn't mean other people can. You're different. You know that. We're all different in different ways. This is one of your strengths. This is not everybody's strength. And the fact that you can do it, other people want to do it, but other people who want to do it may fail or fall flat on their face, and then all of a sudden, oh, they screwed it up, so it's just a matter of time before you screw it up, Sag. No, that's not quite true, but that's what's going to happen. Oh, they're jumping outside the line too, and look how they screwed it up. Well, before you screw it up, Sag, you're getting back in line. Bounds, 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 boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Restriction, restriction, restriction. I know, I'm not saying you have bad friends, so don't take it that way. Please don't take it that way. But people talk and people talk too much. And, just keep it to yourself that you're doing this. Just keep it to yourself for your own happiness. What works for you, works for you. If you have to share it with somebody, make sure you realize that there's a chance that's going to go outside the line. So be very, very secure and safe and make sure maybe you have history with this person and you can talk with them and they won't tell anybody, and tell them that. Do not tell people I'm doing this. If you're going to do it, just make sure you keep it like it was your own idea. Don't drag me into it. If you want to do it, cool, but don't bring me into it like I'm doing it too. Keep it to yourself. Make your own decisions. And don't bring me into it. And don't tell other people that I'm doing it. Be careful. Because I do see it working out for you. There is forgiveness for you doing it this way. Stepping outside the boundaries. And you know how to do it. And you have some finesse with it. Just to be fair. There's forgiveness for you. Other people, I don't know why, but I don't see it for other people. I see it for you. So you might have a track record where this works for you and you're successful with it. That's probably why. Other people who don't, And if they go down, they're going to drag you down with them. No, no, no. I understand you're a good person, you're a helpful person, you're a very upbeat person. I get that. But, let's be upbeat for you and stabilize you and then do for good for you. And then as you do good, maybe that'll loosen things for other people later. Let it come naturally. You don't need to be the one leading the way on that. Because there is forgiveness for you here. And I see well-being coming in here for you when you're establishing your pattern. It's very interesting because I'm seeing this and I'm like, it feels restrictive, but you have your way of moving around more selectively when you want to, how you want to, but you're stabilizing an outcome. That's where that stabilization comes in. You have a stable outcome. You have stable quality. That's why it's being allowed. We can't bring other people into it. Your well-being is what we have to be here. For you. You do you. Don't lead the way for other people. I feel like if you can keep it to yourself more, I really feel like that goes better. I know you're a good person and you like to help people you like, but I feel like it's really better if you keep it to yourself. There is a jealous energy around you. Be aware of that. Are you going to be aware of that? This is here. The look on that face, when I first saw it, I'm just like, it seems like somebody's a little kind of like, oh, there goes Sagittarius, getting everything they want again. Which is not really the truth, but that's, when they lack, they just see what you have. They're like, oh, Sagittarius has something I want again. And they might be one of those frenemies. Somebody who's nice to your face, but is very jealous of you moving forward. Or one of those other type of friends. Oh, I hate this one. I hate this one so much. I've had people like this in my life. Everything's good. Everything's cool until if you do something that they feel like you pulled ahead. Doesn't mean you did, but they feel like you're getting more than they're getting. Then all of a sudden they're like, they got to bring you down. Oh no, you got to come back down to my level. Oh no, that's not fair. I'm better than you. You can't act like you're better than me. It's one of those people. I think you know what I'm talking about. They're just like, they're all cool and nice as long as they think they're better than you or even. A lot of times these people are like, when they think they're better than you and they see you as like a rung or two less, then everything's cool. But once you start to rise to the top with your true talent, your true ability, oh, nope, you gotta knock them down a bit. Nope, you're not better than me. It's a BS thing. It's somebody who seems like a friend, but when push comes to shove, they're really not. Just be aware of it. Because we don't need those people in our lives, in my opinion. I don't really have tolerance for that. Not at this point in my life, anyway. If that's why you want to keep it to yourself, because you may not be aware of that's the type of person you're dealing with. One of the people around you, one of them. Keeping it to yourself, you get the Ace of Cups, you get freedom. This gets a lot better. Over time, people are going to figure out what you're doing anyway, and they're going to see the success connected with it. Over time, you're going to prove that this works for you, and you're going to be allowed to do what you do because you've proven you can do it. Let other people sort it out for themselves. Just let them, because I feel like, yes, they're going to figure it out anyway, but when they do, I feel like the people, if there's people in charge or whatever, they're going to be like, well, Sag has proven that they can do this, and Sag has proven success. That's why Sag is allowed to do what Sag is doing. And then they might, I don't know, let other people work out their problems. You're going to be allowed, you're going to have the freedom, you're going to have that happiness that you need to keep going. If it keeps this restrictive energy, you're not going to be happy. It's going to suck your energy right down. Even if, again, you find a way to survive through struggling to breathe every day, you're still not going to be happy. You need to be happy. So look out for yourself first. I don't think this is bad. I think this is good. But they're saying just be aware of what's around you. Do for you, and then when you've proven to other people where obviously it works for you, it'll branch out where necessary through other people. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to be leading the way. Let it just do what it needs to do on its own accord, and then other people will be allowed to join in if they have the track record that shows that it's warranted. Are we good? I'm going to shut that down there. I think we're good. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.